Hello and welcome to your number one horror podcast on Pornhub. Getting off, I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the word Matt Ritter, and the core four is back together again, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing first the goddess of the gangland, the queen of cash rules everything around me.
This is outrageous.
Kinder Queen.
Host the Kinder Queen.
I just started off the dome.
Bands to make her dance.
Hey, yo.
The host of the She League Showcase, Inside the Mind of, In the Crowd, and Story Time with the Rookie of the Year, the sun seen through the revolving door at the mall that shines brighter than any star in the sky, Miss Katie Kinsey Bay.
Hi. I can't.
Everyone's second favorite Filipino behind Shotzi Blackheart, but has a special place in our heart. My boy from Chicago, host of the Get Yo podcast. It's your boy Juss, Lechon Diaries, and one fourth of Mark's
One fourth. We can say one fourth.
Okay, depends on who you count as an actual Mark with a mic. It's your boy Juss.
That's right. Talking Halloween. Let's do this.
And back by popular demand, and only because he shows up for the episodes that he comes up with the ideas for now. He is 1/3 because Malik showed up this year, so he counts again, of Young Kings Wrestling. He is the only BBC with a PhD on this podcast, Dr. Reek Baker, BBC.
Show's outrageous.
Listen, just hope that they don't get the rack to come on, because after what he referred, like, he's got his bestie and his lover here tonight, so he'll be on one tonight. So
Oh no.
again, chat, we're here. So here's the deal: if you guys don't know why we're here, what fantasy booking Halloween is, we're not fantasy booking this year's Halloween and what we're going to do trick or treating. The rights, the TV and movie rights for Halloween are up for sale from the Akkad family. Blumhouse finished their trilogy. Now people are bidding for the rights so that they can start creating Halloween properties. So what we're going to do is talk about where we want to see the show go, who we want to see take over production-wise, what stories we might want to see them run with, and what we want to see them do. Fun shit like that. Like, what we're fantasy booking the future of the Halloween franchise. Again, Reek's idea. Which is why he's here.
I threw a little nugget out there. So popped us up.
But with that being said, as you guys know, if you're a fan of Getting Off, and obviously everyone here, but specifically me, I love the Halloween franchise. So I would like to have some fun as myself and talk about this and not have to sit backstage while some jackass comes and insults and flirts with and overtakes the show, and nothing that I've had on my mind for a week now to talk about gets talked about. So,
Damn. Please. You shouldn't talk about the rack like that.
Listen,
No, the
he
rack
knows-
is a jackass.
he's in my head. He knows how I feel about him. He hears it constantly.
knows.
He's there. He knows. Now, Katie shouldn't be saying that because he tried to be her best friend and he's trying to be nice to her, but if she keeps talking like that, he might not be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we should not be slanderous to the rack.
You just can't do it on my own show when I'm trying to host.
Blame your chat. And he's not nearly as entertaining in a chat as he is on air. You can't hear the voice.
Can't
Oh,
see
no.
the-
If I read it and I know it's the rack, I hear the voice. Fucking
All right. Let's get into it. I know A24 is in the running. Somebody else was too, and I can't think of who it was. Amazon, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know if they reported who else is in the running, but I know that they just leaned into A24 as being the closest to get the deal done.
How do we feel about an A24 Halloween movie? Because I feel like we already got an A24 Halloween movie. It was called Halloween Ends.
Yeah. It's A24 and it's Miramax.
Miramax.
Oh, Max, got you.
Which Miramax, I mean, if you're a fan, so like they've redubbed the recent franchise H40. So you got, the OG timeline, the Curse timeline, you've got the Rob Zombie timeline, you've got the H20 timeline, and then you've got the H40 timeline. And if you're a fan, you know that Miramax is in the opening credit sequence of a lot of your favorite Halloween movies, or maybe not so favorite Halloween movies, depending on where you lie on some of those movies, like H2O.
Hey.
How are we feeling? Is there anywhere else you guys would like to see the rights go?
Well, if I could start, I'm all for A24. I mean, I think most of us like Midsummer when it came out. That was kind of like a crazy, wild horror movie, if you want to call it a horror movie. Yeah, Edgar. Yeah, right. And everything that they've done with Everywhere All at Once and all that stuff that they've done, they did that the animation movie that's coming out with the that Has Been Hotel or whatever that's coming out too. So everything that they've done is they can't lose. So I'm for it.
I mean, A24 is like, just in general, they did hitting with some pretty crazy movies, like not just Midsummer. I think Hereditary was A24.
I think Hereditary,
and X and Pearl, and all those movies. Like, I mean, I'm not against it, but I'm also a person that I like certain shit to happen. So the name that comes to mind for me is probably New Line, just because there's possibilities in there if the right things
There's
line
not,
up.
though, because New Line doesn't own. A24 has those rights now. A24 is doing that show.
Huh?
After the Victor Miller shit and him retaining the rights to the original movie, I believe the Friday the 13th TV show that is being produced and coming out, you correct me if I'm wrong, someone can fact check it, is through A24. So I believe Jason is over in the A24 camp right now.
We about to find
So
that
if
right
Jason's
now.
over there and we put Michael in there, we're one step closer to Matt Slasher first.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Real quick. Yeah, shout out Broadcast. What's going on, homie? Yes, Crystal Lake, the series for Jason Friday the 13th, or not Jason, is on A24. And it might premiere next year. So
okay. Then I'm retracting that. We're gonna go A24.
but that's still kind of new. It wasn't really confirmed when it first happened. I think they were still trying to weigh out the negotiation, but
it's been out for a little while.
But it's final now.
A24's got that, yeah.
Well, who has the rights to Nightmare?
I think New Line still has Nightmare.
New Line, yeah.
Okay. So either one is gonna work for me.
Okay, I mean, A24 is, for newer horror, that's like where you go is A24. Talk to Me just came out, probably one of their better projects. Fucking wow. Reek mentioned X and Pearl. Like, they can do horror. It would just be probably completely different to like the Halloweens we're used to, which might not be a bad thing.
No,
it wouldn't at all.
So, Reek, on the note that you're making, Evil Dead Rise was a New Line Cinema Renaissance Pictures presentation distributed by Warner Brothers. So,
doesn't that go in line with your creation that you got going on?
If New Line still has Freddy and New Line has Evil Dead and all things Evil Dead, here's where I'm at with it. Like, A24 is hit or miss for me. I've told you the thing that pisses me the most off about Scream 5 is that line about elevated horror and I kind of wanted to see, like, don't get me wrong, I love her in Scream 6, but I kind of wanted to see her get killed just for that. I've always referred to, I said it, it was what it was at the time. Then 6 came out. I love her now. The core 4 is a thing. All right, Katie, but at the time she said that dumb shit, and I was like, they could have just finished you then and there, and I would have been good.
That's so disrespectful. That's insane.
I didn't fuck with Hereditary. I didn't fuck with The Witch.
Oh,
No,
The Witch is awful.
I didn't fuck
didn't
with
even
Pearl,
watch
but I did enjoy X. So A24 is very hit or miss for me, depending on what's coming out. Like, I'm not into the whole elevated horror, hipsters made horror movies bullshit. Like, it's not for me. That's not what I like, especially in the Halloween franchise. Which, before we get into fantasy booking, I do want to talk about that because, Reek, didn't you say you've had some new thoughts on Halloween Ends or some new feelings about Halloween Ends that you wanted to discuss and you were saving for this episode or when you were on here?
About Ends?
Yes.
I don't think it was anything that I haven't said before, honestly. Like, it's a cross between an homage to Carpenter and Christine, basically.
I feel like I have to go back in the chat, but I swear you said that you revisited it or you rewatched it again or something like that, and you had a new perspective or a new outlook on it, and you were going to save it for when you showed up on here, and then you missed an episode or two, and that got pushed to the back. But I thought, but here's my thing. Ends was one of the horror movies that I sat down and watched this year. Like, there's a whole huge list already, and we're only 8 days in. I went back and I rewatched Ends. And here's what I will tell you about Ends. If Michael Myers was not in this movie, I probably would have enjoyed it. The idea, the story of this kid having an unfortunate situation happen to him, and then the town continually beating him down. Actually, you know what? That sounds a lot like the Joker movie, and I hated that. Maybe I wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But the town beating him down and making him into the monster that they were claiming he was for the accident that he made, and then going on a killing spree and just embracing it and becoming that. I think I could have got behind that movie. Like, no lie. My problem is that you did it and you wrote Michael into it, and it took 45 minutes for him to get into the fucking movie, and then he didn't do shit, and then the kid beat the shit out of him in a sewer and stole his mask, only for him to die and then come back.
Well,
the movie would have been great if it wasn't a Halloween.
Right.
The only reason why I gave it the consideration to watch it a second time was because, I'm sitting up there thinking after the first time I watched it, like, damn, what was that? But I go back and I think, like, damn, we had a whole 3-movie arc of this. These were new sequels, a new timeline branch, whatever. And this is supposed to be like the end of it. It's like we can't keep rehashing the same thing that we've done a bunch of times over. And I knew something crazy was going to go down with one. It's a third movie. Every third movie always has an asterisk next to it. But also
Scream 3.
But also because they said they were going to have a theme to it because this was post-pandemic and they were going to like put something into this that was different. And it had to be different because it's like if this is the end note for because Laurie and Michael have had a finish before. It was disappointing. It wasn't what we were looking for, but they had a finish. So for this, it was like, how do you change it? How do you make it something that people have never seen before? And I think that's where they kind of just went into the toolbox for Carpenter and all of his works and said, hey, let's integrate some of these themes and stuff like that and make it a whole different thing. I don't know. I don't know what their thought process was in it, but I could see it, especially going back and looking over at Christine, like, holy shit, they basically just Michael is Christine, and this kid is what's the guy's fucking whatever that kid's name is.
Yeah. Laurie and Michael have had more false finishes in a Young Bucks match, so
Goddamn.
That was good. That was good.
And it's true.
it's just it's not the way I wanted to end the trilogy just because I loved Halloween 40 we'll call it, and then Halloween Kills so much.
Mhm.
So this was not the movie that I was hoping for going into it, which I said and I knew and I saw with the Halloween 3 font and all of that and blah blah blah, and it kind of prepared me. It's not how I wanted to go out on the story. It's like I said, the story in and of it, like I'm watching it and I find myself enjoying it up until Michael shows up 45 minutes into the movie, and I remember that this is a Halloween movie, and then Corey turns Michael into a bitch and beats his ass and steals his mask, and I'm like, and I'm supposed to fuck with this as the
Right.
final Halloween, that this kid who got beat up by high schoolers just whooped Michael Myers' ass,
Right.
stole his mask, and walked away. Y'all talk about Buster Rhymes. Buster Rhymes is a grown-ass man. Dude is swole as fuck and studied kung fu in that movie, all right? Maybe not traditionally under a sensei, but he watched a lot of kung fu movies and
Right.
practiced shit in front of a TV. He learned how to throw a spin kick. Like, and that's what you guys were all mad about is Buster Rhymes fucked up Michael Myers. But everyone seems to love the fact that this nerdy fucking white kid who got beat up by high schoolers went down there and just beat Michael Myers' ass and walked away with his mask. No problem.
But see, but this is what I said too, though, because I thought it was bold on their part to actually portray a vulnerable Michael. Like, because even with Buster, like he was just eating them some shots. Like,
Yeah.
you could say he got fucked up, but at the end of the day, he just got caught in a fire. He wasn't really eating like none of, like he was just, okay, you're hitting me, so what? And you just got tangled up. Like, he wasn't actually vulnerable. This was a vulnerable Michael that we've never actually seen before. So I gave kudos for that.
It is the same Michael that we watched get gangbanged the movie before and then stand up and murder an entire crowd.
That's true. But this goes back to what I've said way back before and why I prefer this version of Michael, because it's more of a, we're not seeing him as a human being, as a person, a flesh and blood. He is a force. He is a essence. He is a form, a shape, if you will.
Shape.
Exactly. So, and the best way to describe that is the way Lori was talking about it in that scene that you were just talking about. Mm-hmm. So it's like after a while, that force starts dying. And when he doesn't have a bunch of people that he can just run through and catch up on bodies with, and you know, when he's not feared anymore, because you know, eventually people just started forgetting, almost like Freddy. They started forgetting about him after a while. It's like that force starts to die.
Corey did go in there and say, "You're just a man in a mask. I'm not afraid of you." Whatever.
Right.
Like it's, I'm not okay with it. It is what it is. It's just me. I'm not okay with it. I'm not good with it. I'm not gonna be good with it. The movie would be fun otherwise, but putting Michael, also again, an entire trilogy in the Halloween franchise and not a single titty, and you had the perfect opportunity with that nurse. Like, she's slutting around with the doctor, doing her thing. She's there. She was ready. Couldn't give me just not one. You couldn't just let one pop out, like accidentally wardrobe malfunction style while Michael was fucking her up. She whooped dude's ass and got away. Michael had to go kill her because he couldn't do it, and then he beat Michael up after that. Like,
yeah, I ain't giving him a pass for no titties. That's unacceptable.
That's what I want. I don't give a fuck what you do going into make whatever story you want. Just give me titties in the story. That's all I need.
A24 will give you titties.
Elevated titties. Elevated titties now.
Elevated titties.
Don't do that. Don't do that to titties. Ass is elevated titties. That's all that is.
That was the because I'm right there with you too, Matt. Like when they were talking about the whole elevated horror like name and whatever. Like I don't know if you saw it, but they celebrated Halloween 45 in Pasadena. They had a big Michael Myers convention, Halloween convention in Pasadena. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah, like I think they had the panel from the 2018 movie come out, and a bunch of them were there. So a lot of people were there, and they keep talking about this elevated horror concept for Michael Myers. I'm like, well, I mean, like, does it really need to be elevated? I mean, everyone is already scared of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much elevated are we getting? You know?
And we also talked about the fact that elevated horror is bullshit anyway, because horror, for as long as it has existed, has dealt with all of the shit that they say that elevator horror is about. Like Frankenstein, Dracula, all of this stuff, all these elements of horror have always been there. They've always been social commentary. That it's always been a thing about what's going on in society. But we're not talking about the past. And I apologize for making us do that. But I've been wanting to talk to Reek about that for a week now when I knew this was coming and I had to get it out of the way. We are to talk about the future, what we want to see. You guys already, if you haven't, go listen to Slasherverse episodes. You know what's coming. I'll talk about it. I know where I would like it to go. So I'm going to let you guys go. What do you want? Movies? You want TV shows? What stories do you want? What do we want to see from Halloween going forward?
Go ahead, Katie.
Okay, I was like, somebody talk. A few things. I just want more Paul Rudd because Paul Rudd. Why not?
Okay.
So if we can do something with him, that'd be great. But mainly, I've seen a lot of people talking about they want another like Michael backstory and like when he's younger and all of this stuff. Fine, cool, whatever. No, I want more Jamie Lloyd stuff. Specifically, like, how did she know the thorn was coming for her? And, like, all of this kind of stuff. I know Reek's making faces, but, like, oh well. But that's what I want. Like, that was intriguing to me. Especially
that's what we need. Is a fully thought out, played out version of the Cult of the Thorn, because you can do it. You can do it in a series. We can get more of the history than just exposition. We can see the cult. We can see the Celtics back in the day, the pagans doing the rituals. We could probably even get a view of what the thing that is technically possessing Michael looks like, maybe, and get a view of what that is. We can get all of that. Maybe, if they don't fully go into Michael, because we've done that, maybe we can do a prequel based on the Cult of the Thorn idea, where we see one of the other kids who had to successfully go through and murder everyone that he cared about, blah, 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 leading up to maybe the person that it was before Michael, getting us to the Cult of the Thorn series, and then kind of go from there. Like, there's a lot of shit you can do with mythology, and there was a mythology that after 6 movies, we just said fuck it and ignored for bullshit. For fake beheadings and reality TV and Rob Zombie.
Oh my god!
Look, I caved already. I said if there was the second they said potential TV series, I look. He was happy after I said it, but I'm like, listen, I can't even deny that you have more legs to stand on if you're gonna do a TV series by going into that story because of all the things that you just said. Because you got mileage to run through as far as you want to take it, even multiple seasons if it goes that far.
I am also available for the role of Dr. Loomis should anyone need a balding 36-year-old to play a young Dr. Loomis, kind of husky but a little muscular,
Huscular?
I'm free.
A dad bod type of.
Yeah,
Hey, it can work.
A young Dr. Loomis, like figuring shit out. Like I can do it.
We can petition to make that happen.
Yeah,
just saying.
For me, it's very simple. Whatever they're doing with Child's Play, the TV series, I would like them to do in whatever Halloween TV series they end up doing, like tying in all the storylines, like the Cult of Thorn, all the stuff that they got in. And do it in a way seamlessly, like how we all want, just to make it all make sense. So if they do it that way, I'm cool with it. Now,
what would be a great way to do that, Juss? And here's the thing: like, you don't even necessarily need to tie in the Cult of the Thorn, because with all of the different timelines and everything that's omitted, it's going to be almost impossible. Because at least with Chucky, you always had Don Mancini kind of somewhere nearby, in a role. For Chucky's to kind of guide that narrative outside of, I think, Bride of Chucky and maybe Seed of Chucky, but he also found a way to bring that back. with the later stuff. But there, and I've talked about this now. Best thing about Michael Myers, outside of if you're not about the mythology, is the fact that he is the shape, the boogeyman. And the thing about the boogeyman is nobody really knows what the fuck the boogeyman is.
Right.
He is this thing in your closet. He is this thing under your bed. He is this eternal fear that we have, that has all these strengths and no weaknesses. It just kind of exists and you can't get rid of it. You can't do anything about it. Not even the Ghostbusters can stop it. Like, it's just there, right? So, Michael being this embodiment of the boogeyman, the shape. We have two people, Michael's incest baby and his uncle, that are still alive from both H2O.
Right.
Oh, wait, I know
Michael's,
where you're going
Michael's
on.
incest baby's uncle is Michael's nephew.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
cousin, maybe cousin.
I know exactly where you're going with this. We talked.
Reek, you make that face every time, like you haven't heard me say that.
Go ahead.
It's Michael's
I'm listening.
incest baby. Like they straight up
I know.
said
We
Michael
don't
fucked his niece,
portray
had a
that word.
baby.
Trust
Stop.
me, I
We-
remember. I remember
We
it
don't
all.
keep talking about it. We know.
I just want to see where you're going with this.
These two were still alive
Mhm.
in the franchise. Really the only ones. And I mean, John's mom got murdered. You know, his girlfriend got fucked up at college, ruined his fucking Halloween. He was trying to get laid. He was going to have a good time. Uncle showed up, fucked everything up, went back to a mental institution, killed his mom. So John's probably got some issues. Like we saw what in H2O, we saw what Michael did in one night, according to that story, to Jamie and how she became an alcoholic and blah, 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 blah. So John may have some of that like his mom did. And then you've got, I don't know who my father is. I've heard rumors, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He also killed my mother, who was his niece. We can get those two together to try and finally find and end Michael. And that would tie H2O into the 1 through 6 series at the very least, and everything that happened there. We can reference things from Resurrection. Obviously, Rob Zombie was a whole remake, so we can't really pull that in, but we can do kind of like what they did in the original Halloween franchise, where we do homages to things from H40 from I mean, we could even end it kind of really with finding out that Michael goes into a mental institution and Dr. Sartain shows up and takes over, and just kind of leave it there at the end of the series or whatever, as a nod to H40, and take a couple things like maybe have a redneck family or some shit like that, or I don't know, some stuff from Rob Zombie in this series. But it would definitely be John and John's cousin. I'm not going to call Michael's incest baby anymore. I'm also forgetting, I'm forgetting what the fuck his name was, and it's driving me nuts. And Andrew
from which?
It would have been from 6. It was the baby from 6. Steven, yes. Because I was just typing it in, and then you said, yes, Stephen Lloyd. So Stephen and John come together, mutual relationship, blood bond, deep blood bond, and go after Michael to try and end him. And I've said this before, we do it supernatural style. We put them in like a nice hot rod. They kind of have that relationship of Sam and Dean Winchester riding around. Be a great way to do it. We can bring back any surviving characters from old movies to kind of help them out, give them information. Listen.
I like where your head's at, but that would mean that you want to subject me to Josh Hartnett on my TV, and I was not about to say with it.
What the fuck do you have against Josh Hartnett?
Happening. He doesn't do it. Honestly, he dragged H2O down for me, because I actually kind of like H2O, but it just he was just a whiny little bitch the whole movie. And then I noticed there's a theme of him being a whiny little bitch in a lot of his movies, and I can't do that. I can't do that, especially not if this is a series that you're pitching. Nah, it's not happening.
I mean, we don't have to. They recast Tommy Doyle. Josh Hartnett is one of those
They could
guys that
recast
kind of
him,
looks
yeah.
forever young. We could recast John.
That's fine. Then I'll work with you, but get him the fuck out of here is what I'm saying.
The disrespect to Josh Hartnett. Wow, that's fucking wild.
I mean,
sorry.
I'm leaning with Reek a little bit because I can't think of a movie where I really liked his acting though. I mean, the people around him were good, but him as a lead, what was that movie? Faculty.
Yeah, he was great.
Oh,
I loved him in the Faculty.
But the Faculty was just like kind of campy though, so it worked. It worked in his favor.
But he was great. Like you said, you can't think of him. He was great. The way he was going up to fucking Jean Grey and hitting on her and shit.
Oh,
and
dude, she was. Ooh.
the way he handled, like, no, I fuck with Josh Hartnett in the Faculty. 30 Days of Night.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's also in Oppenheimer, and he's great.
I haven't watched Oppenheimer yet, so I can't vouch for him in that.
But you know,
I can.
what was that movie with him and Harrison Ford? There was a movie with him and Harrison Ford, and they literally were mirroring each other, and it annoyed me. You know, like
I don't know.
I forgot the name of that movie. It's neither here or there.
I will give him a pass for 30 Days a Night though.
Oh, that movie schmacks.
But it was a good movie, so
Yeah.
Hollywood Homicide, just
Yeah.
I googled it.
Oh, the cop movie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I googled
What
it
was the
up,
one
I've
where
never seen
like he was a scumbag and then couldn't have sex for like 40 days? Was that 40 days?
That
and 40
was
nights or
third.
shit like
That was 40 days or 40 nights.
Yeah.
See,
That made me
You weren't
laugh.
thinking of that. I was gonna say.
Like
he did
I
a movie
can't-
called 28 Days and 30 Days, 30 Nights, and he did another movie, but called 40 Days.
Nah, this
Oh,
the vampire movie was 30 days.
30 days of night.
Yeah, and then
okay.
Because in Alaska, the sun goes down for a month.
Well, yeah,
and
I
doesn't
know
come
that.
back up.
I know that part.
And then-
I know that part.
Then,
Just like
then vampires don't have to worry
Yes,
about the sun, so they can
yes,
do crazy shit for a month. Great. I mean, it's fantastic.
Oh, that
idea.
movie's great.
yeah,
Natalie loves that movie.
solid.
Just the slander is crazy.
But isn't there also like a whole month where the sun's up the entire time and it doesn't go down? So like, where's my 40 nights of day?
Yeah, that I think that happens next. I don't know when, but that also happens.
I need 40 nights of day.
No.
Alaska's not real.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What? Wait.
Conspiracy theory: Alaska
just-
doesn't exist, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just gonna throw. I'm not to BTC in here, but Alaska's not real.
My
Look
friend
on a map of
literally-
What about
flat
the
Earth.
Eskimos? What
Clearly,
about the
Alaska does
Eskimos?
not fit.
Nope.
My friend
Sure don't.
taught over there for 2 years
No,
How do you know it was Alaska?
because you posted about it being in Alaska.
Doesn't mean it was Alaska.
Charlene's cousin is a marine biologist, and they were just there 2 years ago.
Are you
I mean,
sure?
it is a little conspicuous.
God.
Hold on. It is a little conspicuous that there is just a chunk of Canada that the U.S. randomly owns.
Listen, I don't. We're not here to talk about this. Can we just get back to
Alaska's not
Saying.
real. When you
I'm
post
still
this
intrigued,
episode
though.
and you make
I'm
your
still intrigued. I ain't gonna
headlines
lie,
in
I'm
it,
still
you know,
intrigued.
put in
Alaska's
there
not
Alaska's
real.
not real.
You know what? I'm gonna put that in my notes right
What
now.
about
so I
the
don't
alien?
forget.
Y'all see the alien that they found in Mexico?
What?
You didn't
Oh,
see
that-
that?
That
Yeah,
bullshit
you
that
didn't
they
see that
posted.
Oh, wait. Is it the
Is
the meme that people are making?
Yeah,
Yeah, you seen that?
Oh, then yes. I have.
Some stupid shit.
Stop digging shit up.
I
Listen,
swear, I think that's just a little person.
people have never. People.
I swear.
Too many people have not seen Courage the Cowardly Dog in the shows.
That
For
that show
real?
still freaks me out.
For real.
Y'all gonna learn.
All right,
today.
so Katie wants Cult of the Thorn. Justin wants
Like a
a
like
Chucky
Child's
esque
Play-
TV
yeah,
show where they
Chucky-esque.
tie everything in and possibly supernatural redo. Reek, what about you?
I got a couple ideas. But I'm gonna piggyback off of what Just was saying a minute ago. So there was this idea And I think it was one of those times where Carpenter was just making a joke because he didn't want to keep coming back and making these fucking movies. But he threw out, and I think he started writing for this idea that Michael was a ghost. So if you were to put Michael in an elevated horror scenario, ask Carpenter about that idea, because I think it has something to do with relative or whatever, and they were seeing him in nightmares and stuff like that, kind of like Jamie was, but he actually was a ghost, and he was haunting whoever this person was in his ever in that form. That I look it up, but that's an idea. If you wanted to throw it out there and you wanted to go down that road, it's there. But my big one is, and I'm probably gonna be alone on this. Whatever, I'll take it.
Do you name your big one Michael, or do you just call that Lil Reek?
No. Oh man, nah. I don't.
I assumed you named it Michael because it's what you do all your stabbing with.
Oh my god,
that's crazy.
That's a real court of thorn right there. That's the real court of thorn right there.
Oh man, y'all crazy. Yeah, the name changes all the time, so I haven't.
I named mine Chucky because it may not be as big as yours, but it still puts in the work.
Now, what in the hell?
Chucky is an advocate for size not mattering, so that's on brand. That's on brand. Anyway, this might just be me, but let us give some love to Season of the Witch. I really think we should.
Wait. Now, how so? Do you want to continue the story of Season of the Witch, or do you want to do what Season of the Witch was supposed to start and just do a Halloween-based anthology series? Because again, Halloween was supposed to be just a one-off Michael Myers. Yeah. They forced him to come back. John Carpenter did Season of the Witch because that was the original idea. So are we talking? Right. You want to know what happened with Silver Shamrock, which apparently was taken over by Danhausen, or like how that carried on? Or are you talking like I want them to do a TV show based around the holiday of Halloween, different episodes or whatever, maybe an episode or two covering a new story every week or whatever?
No, I want to bridge two together. So if you remember, the whole concept with Silver Shamrock and their whole deal. So they're Celtics too. They just have, a different way for how they do their business and using that magical rock and all this other shit. So you can revisit that story, bring it into the modern day, and to go with the idea of bringing the Cult of Thorn back, bring it all together, and maybe they know of each other, maybe they work together, because what you're really doing is you're creating two issues, depending on who the main characters are going to be. You got one who's trying to sell these masks to, kill kids and take over the world, shit like that. And then another who plants this curse on kids in the community.
Are you trying to tell me that you want us to make a Halloween movie where the Silver Shamrock Corporation is the Republicans and the Cult of the Thorn are MAGA extremists? Is that what I'm hearing?
I was going with TV series.
Worshipping their leader, Michael Myers.
Hold on.
I was going with TV series, but
is that not what they're doing in Chucky? Is that not what they're doing right in this?
Hey, he's an independent.
He was an independent, right?
So
he's an independent.
So we know
what we should have done.
We know.
It would be really like if it was, like you said, one Celtic sect or group or the remaining pagan Celtics that, and then there was an extremist group that broke off and said, we're going to worship this and cult and possess someone and physically go out there, and then the other ones they're like the business mind of the business side of it. Like we're gonna make money and we're gonna take over the world through business and turning kids' brains into bugs and shit, like with our magic stone.
Give me
It's more like Scientology. But
give me
anyway.
a Colonel Cochrane backstory. Because I need to know how he made these goddamn androids in the year, what was it, 78, 81, 82? Yeah. I need to know how he made fully integrated androids and all that good shit. I need to know.
Sorry, in my head now all I hear is one more day till Halloween, Halloween.
I was on 3 days, but yeah.
One more day to Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
How did you do it? How did you do it? I need to know.
It's gonna be stuck in my head for the rest of the week. So
Very,
thank you.
very, very nice, very nice, very nice, very,
And-
very, very nice, very evil.
And the movie's on Peacock as of now throughout the rest of the month. So you can go and
Halloween
watch
3?
it and make it all worse. Yeah.
Okay.
Good to know.
So we've got Reek combining and bringing Halloween 3 into the rest of the franchise, which Juss would love because that is also something he kind of mentioned. He wanted to see everything kind of come together and bridge the continuity. And it's also taking a little bit of Katie's idea, which was continuing the idea of the pagan rituals and the cult of the thorn and all of that. Again, if you guys have listened to my Slasherverse series episode that is out there, you are aware, and Evil Dead 2023 has kind of nicely set us up for this. That my idea is that there was either a Necronomicon or multiple versions of the Necronomicon with instructions to release specific Deadites, demons to possess people. The Kandarian demon being the major one in the Evil Dead franchise. We also saw in Jason Goes to Hell the Necronomicon Ex Mortis in the Voorhees family manor, and that Jason in that movie was defeated very much in line with what we saw from an Evil Dead movie with a dagger that looked like the Kandarian dagger but wasn't, so we need a different demon and a special dagger to defeat him. And that I believe that we can combine an entire slasher universe using the Necronomicon to explain things like the demon that the cult worshipped, the cult of the thorn worshipped, that then was possessing people and that was passing it on through them reading the Necronomicon to get us these stories. Freddy finding the Necronomicon and finding a way to keep himself alive after being murdered by families who were not upset with the way that he diddled their children, or who were upset by the way that he diddled their children and then murdered them. That was the actual story, and then they changed it because, again,
I said you don't have to say it like that.
Horror always reflects society, just sometimes they censor it. You don't need to be elevated to do it.
That's true.
So that's what I want to see. That if you want to start with Michael because he's my favorite, I would love that. That's where I want to go. That's what I want to see. Maybe an origin movie where we just learn about the Necronomicon and it ends with a little teaser getting into Michael, or in an opening season talking about the Necronomicon, the different demons and things like that, leading up to Michael, and then we can start Michael's journey from a child and really rebuild this world and the story out through multiple seasons going forward, Disney Plus style.
I was gonna say, so you want a slasher MCU?
Yes.
He does.
Okay.
That would be That episode was really fun too because
All
because then I found other things about the Necronomicon existing in other worlds, like Ghostbusters, the cartoon, and I said it to Matt, which was pretty wild because they didn't hide the fact, they didn't change the name, just said straight up Necronomicon book. I was like, whoa, this is pretty wild.
So imagine this, Reek. Imagine you get. We start fresh, right? We start fresh with this idea. We wipe the slate clean, but we take everything that we have as building blocks to create these new stories. And through these new stories, in each one, you have your final girl and or guy. It's 2023. It doesn't have to be a woman, but we're all about women's empowerment. Or they. It could be a they or them. It doesn't have to be a he or a she. Whoever. You have your final person.
Mm-hmm.
They then come together to find and destroy the Necronomicon as like the Avengers of all of the final people in the Avengers movie. They come together to stop the Necronomicon or whatever. Like we can get to that point where it's like this book is what's causing it, and we can't stop this from happening unless we get rid of this book. This is what we need to do. And then they all band together, all of these characters that you've met in their single origin stories with their own big bads, like Michael, like Jason, like Chucky, so on and so forth, to destroy the Necronomicon. And then the Necronomicon gets the Infinity Stones.
And then we get Endgame. And then one of them has to die.
No, but in all seriousness, like that is not necessarily an Avengers Assemble sort of thing, but doing that to where we can play out through 10 episode seasons. Season 1 starts, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, dude.
Rebuilding all of these stories that I grew up watching through franchises and movies and everything, and giving it enough time to fully play out and explain and do some things and do some cool and new interesting things and let us get there, because that'll give you also what some people have been asking for, which is more of Michael as a child, like what was going on in those years in the mental institution with, me playing Dr. Loomis, things like that. Maybe Dr. Loomis learning about and discovering and studying up on the Necronomicon, which is how he decides that he knows. Because that's the question: how does he know, looking into his eyes, that he's pure evil? Well, he fucking found out about the Necronomicon. He's like, okay, no, this bitch is pure evil. Like, I read the book, I spoke the words, I know what's up.
He read the good book.
I would also just like a Dr. Loomis like solo series.
I was about to just, I was
Like
just
two
about to say
episode,
that.
a 2-3 episode arc, Dr.
No, I
Dr.
just want a
Loomis?
straight up series of like Dr. Loomis, kind of like the Hannibal, but like a young Dr. Loomis before he met
Okay.
Michael, or even like
Kind of like Obi-Wan
years
before,
in between, where like he goes on side adventures.
Have you ever heard of the
Yeah.
comic series?
I'm aware that there are comic series, yes.
So it goes into Michael from the time that he gets institutionalized, and it follows this story all the way through. And this actually kind of now makes me really want a series, because it's like how Dr. Loomis met a woman, another doctor. I think she was working at the place too, and they were dating. They were even engaged, and there's all these stories and stuff that Michael's got going on. He meets other kids and stuff like that, and has all these weird interactions. And then all of a sudden, they start winding up dead. Like one kid gets scalded alive in the shower, and one kid is like they're doing bobbing for apples, and he gets drowned in there. And Michael's always like not nearby, but he's like, I know you did it. And like the last thing that happens, he winds up killing Loomis's fiance, because she's like on some balcony or whatever. While he's up there, he pushes her off. Again, nobody sees nothing, but it's like it just leads him further into like, oh, this kid is really fucking evil.
Right.
But he's locked up, and how is he doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. However, what I'm thinking is we follow Dr. Loomis with Michael institutionalized, like you said, right? But him studying the evil in Michael helps him then kind of go and look at and figure out Hannibal Lecter style, like I said, like but more Silence of the Lambs style, like analyzing Michael helps him solve other cases and find other killers and things like that. And we can also introduce a love interest, because one thing that we know is Michael Myers, we found this out in the 2018 movie, has a polarizing effect. If you're not expecting him to be in your life and he shows up, he will fuck you up. But people are obsessed with him. The podcasters going to Laurie's house that have to know the story, Dr. Sartain. So maybe this woman gets close to Dr. Loomis, hoping to get close to Michael. And there's something there at the end where we find out what her true motivations are. And there's a struggle, and he has to kill her because she's lost her shit and is obsessed with Michael and is trying to help set him free. Or maybe she's the one, he finds out, that let him out of the mental institution. at 21 years old at the beginning of technically the beginning of the Halloween movie when he escaped. She's the one that helps him escape. Things like that. Maybe she could be a part of the Cult of the Thorn, but Dr. Loomis series where like he's studying Michael and Michael's like the most evil thing in the world. So it kind of helps him figure out shit about other people. And, you got to have something else going on along there too. So I like that idea too. Cause I love me some Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We could have a little bit of Laurie Strode in there and how she's coping after life, because apparently one night in every story, no matter what it is, that one night completely fucked her up for the rest of her life.
I mean, that would be the same way.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know, because honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it was really only like 3 hours of her life that some dude was trying to kill her. And they stopped him. But yeah, and they locked him up. He was away. He's arrested. And for the next 20 years, you're an alcoholic who freaks out every Halloween and he never shows up until he finally does. Or 40 years later, he's been locked up for 40 fucking years, and you have ruined relationships with your husband, with your daughter, with your grandchild. Also kind of still an alcoholic over 3 hours of your life.
Trauma can affect the mind in any way,
We can't just say it was 3 hours, because we got to remember she went to the Myers house, she dropped the key off, and all of a sudden she sees a person who's standing outside in front of her, looking at her all day long. So it really kind of started by the time from the time she was in school all the way on through the rest of the night. She didn't know what the deal was. She just seen some dude staring at her, even outside her window. So you got some stalking going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then her two best friends were killed, and she saw their dead bodies in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see this person who has been stalking you clearly all day long and is now trying to kill you, and you have stabbed him in the neck, you stabbed him in the chest, you watched him get shot multiple times, and there's nobody to recover. He vanished into thin air.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So there's all of that.
But I mean,
outside of those 3 hours.
In H2O, yes, because but in Halloween 40, they found Michael. They arrested him. He's been locked up. Like, she knows where he is. She knows he's locked up. It was 40 years. All of that. Also, I did quick math. If Laurie was, I think I did that wrong. Laurie was 17 at the time of the attack, which means 20,805 days of your life by the time you were 58 years old. And only one of those days was a bad day. Out of 20,000 days, you held on to that motherfucker for a long time.
One bad day can ruin your entire fucking life.
They have counseling for that, though. And
that doesn't always help.
And
it can help a little.
I think with this Laurie in this particular timeline, it was more about not being able to trust anything or anyone.
Right.
Because it's like, if that can happen with some random person who she had never met before, then it's like, what else is it's like the best way to describe it was what her daughter said. Karen, what Karen said. She, being an agoraphobic, like the people who are scared to go outside because of all of the dangers and stuff that happen in the world. Like, I think that kind of just amplified that type of fear for Laurie. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, remember the house, all those like tactical, like all those things that were around the house. It was all surrounded. I mean, that's somebody who's like straight up scared. You know what I mean? Like, but I do have one idea though, because we were talking about the origin stories.
Before you go on with that idea, Juss, I'm going to ask you to pause for a minute because I need to talk about something, and I need to talk about everyone joining us at twitch.tv/Creation World. I want to thank you guys for joining us at twitch.tv/Creation World, where it is free to like, to subscribe. Or no, it's not. I'm sorry. That is YouTube. Twitch.tv/Creation World. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you have Prime Gaming. You can link your Prime Gaming to your Amazon Prime account. You get a free sub on Twitch every month. You can use that for your favorite Twitch streamers, whether it is us, which it should be, or Botchbots and Chair Shots, or anyone. Just support your favorite content creators on Switch. Throw them that free sub. Use it. You're already paying for Prime. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You can also be checking us out at youtube.com/Creation World, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Katie, what does that do?
Boost the algorithm, helps find new listeners.
That is correct. And as I've said, I am a fucking whore. Please share me with your friends. This is not a monogamous relationship. I am not here for just you to enjoy. I need to be enjoyed by all of your friends, all of your family. Share me with your mom, your grandma, your daddy, all of them. They need to hear me and what I have to say. If you like me, they will too. Trust me. So do that. And while you're doing that, flick your bean up top, the notification bell. Hit that. Get notified every time we go live, Monday through Friday for the Creation Conversation. Saturdays at 11 p.m. Central for Smacking It Raw, and every other Sunday for this show that you are watching right now, Getting Off. While you're flicking your bean and sharing me with your family, you can do it multiple places like the two I just mentioned, but you can also do it at pornhub.com/model/creation world, where all of our videos that Pornhub has allowed us to put up are available, as well as 2 Pornhub exclusives that feature multiple things like The Rack and Miss Katie Kinsey Bay Bay. One features Juss from the Get Joe podcast. One features Will Gray from Botch Spots and Chair Shots. And they both feature DP, and I'm not talking about Dr. Pepper. So go enjoy that as well. And the last way you can support us is over at patreon.com/Creation World, where for $1 you get 2 amazing shows. You can listen to Travis and I cover old school wrestling. Like I said, $1 a month. You get our entire catalog of Return to Wrestling from the very first Nitro in 1995, all the way up to our latest episode coming out this month, which will be Uncensored 1998. And also, on top of that, if you're like, I listen to enough wrestling, I want to listen to something else. Multiverse with Travis and Mara, where they break down and talk and discuss DC animated films, because those are the best DC films, or the cartoon films. You can go check that out. Their latest one was Batman's Long Halloweeny. Go check that out. It's fantastic. It's good shit.
It is.
Listen to them. It's the same dollar. It's not a different dollar. It's not another dollar. $1 gets you both shows. We also have a slightly higher tier than that. And if you guys are checking that out, there's a tier that'll get you this show ad-free. Unfortunately for you, though, this is a live show, and it's not going to be ad-free because we got great sponsors that get you sex toys and energy drinks and stuff for your animals. And we need you to go use those promo codes because it also helps us out, but it's going to help you out, because who doesn't need a new dildo or a leash for their dog or, energy powder to stay up and watch the show at night? Yes. One of those things I guarantee you need. We have promo codes for all of it. So here's a word from our sponsors.
Things up in the bedroom, then it's time to check out Adam and Eve. Because you see, Adam and Eve is the leading adult toy store that offers a wide range of products to help you explore your sexual desires. Whether you're looking for something to use solo or with a partner, they have everything you need to satisfy your cravings. From vibrators to lingerie, bondage gear to lubricants, AdamandEve.com has it all. And the best part, you can shop with confidence, knowing that all their products are of high quality and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, penis ring, vibrator, anal sex toy, bondage toy, couples toy, lube, or accessory, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. No questions asked. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Adam and Eve is giving you 50% off almost any item on their website. That's right, 50% off. And if you act now, you'll also get free shipping. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the offer code erotica at checkout. That's erotica at adamandeve.creationworld.com for 50% off almost any item and free shipping. Don't wait. This offer won't last very long. The link is in the description. Attention dog lovers. Are you looking for high quality products to spoil your furry friend? Then you need to check out dog.com. Because you see, dog.com is the go-to online store for all your dog-related needs. They offer a huge selection of dog food, treats, beds, and more. Plus, they have products for all types of dogs, from puppies to seniors and everything in between. And the best part You can shop with confidence knowing that all their products are made with your dog's health and happiness in mind. Dog.com only stocks top rated brands that you can trust, so you can rest easy knowing your dog is getting the best. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Dog.com is doing a big warehouse clearance sale. And all you have to do is go to dog.creationworld.com and you can get up to 80% off on all sorts of items like toys, treats, bones, harnesses, bowls, leashes, and anything else you can think of. So go to dog.creationworld.com and take advantage of this sale right now. Spoil your furry friend with the best products from dog.creationworld.com today. Link is in the description. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try Dubby, the ultimate energy source. Dubby is a powerful clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, Dubby can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, Dubby is made with high quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash, jitters, or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix Dubby with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to dubby.creationworld.com and order your Dubby today. And for a limited time, use code Creatia at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at w.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try Dubby today and feel the difference. The link is in the description.
And we're back. Juss, you were saying that you had another idea that you want to talk about.
Yeah, so like with the Has-Been hotel that A24 is doing with animation, right? So what if they did something like not necessarily a multiverse, but something different with the Halloween franchise, but in that same form, since Hollywood seems to be in this wave of doing artsy type stuff with their movies, Spider-Man verse, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mayhem movie, and other ones that are coming out soon. So what if they did something like that, but with Halloween, right? So what if it just kind of continues after, Halloween ends, right? This kid, who has like mommy issues from an abusive family, just stumbles upon the Michael Myers mask, right? Michael Myers mask. And let's just say the Necronomicon book together, right? The kid wears this mask to probably escape his feelings of depression, right? The Necronomicon book has all these things saying like, there's evil out there and all this stuff. So the longer he wears the mask, the more he becomes kind of evil, right? Kind of like Mask, right? Kind of like the movie Mask. But instead of being evil, he wants to be good. So then he goes out and kind of does like a slasher verse where he goes and hunts and kills all like the slashers like Freddy, Jason, all of them, right? And let's just say since it's Michael Myers, but instead of Michael Myers, it's Marshall Mathers.
Now,
Does he find the mask on 8 Mile?
when he puts on the mask, is he B-Rabbit? Like,
Are his mother's issues mom's spaghetti? Is that where the issues come in?
Whatever
he
happens
couldn't
in
stomach
this,
mom's spaghetti.
He's just gonna lose himself.
God damn it! What are you? How did it get?
And somebody asked him, "Why you like this? Why you like this?" He's like, "Well, I am, and everything I say, I am."
Is this a Bonnie and Clyde situation?
Oh, ooh. Well, whatever it happens, he's always going to be a renegade. So
This is outrageous.
Are we sure we know what his name is? He sounds like a role model.
He is
with a guilty conscience.
With the real Michael Myers, please stand up.
God damn it.
Please stand up.
You okay, Reek?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? This is Halloween, not Superman. Okay, anyway.
See, I was with you until you started like veering off into the Marshall Mathers shit. Because the funny thing is that I did think about the fact that the last shot you see in Halloween Ends is that mask on the table. So
yes.
you left it open ended to say that you could always
come back.
have
Somebody
another,
could take the mask on. Yep.
Yeah, have another person. So I'm all for that. Like if you just create another, evil incarnate, and they just happen to stumble on that mask to create a new identity, whatever.
Right.
That's fine.
Or
I'm all for
or we go the Star Wars route where they just take the mask and then they have it up on a mantle and they look at it and they make their own mask. Like Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
But it's like emo Michael Myers who's sad and has emotions. I'm joking. I'm not serious.
I feel like that's what Corey did anyway.
It
Right.
was.
They
And then
teeter-tottered on that a little bit. Yes.
Like
Unfortunately, he didn't have a Rey to save him, so he just died.
like he was admiring. He wasn't on the pedestal. He just was watching from a distance and then said, "Okay, all right, give me this shit. I'm gonna do it." Like
I do like the D12 world that Justin created.
What?
As long as we have some really good fight music.
Dude,
Uh,
you know there'll
I
be
mean, you have
good
to.
ass fight music. Yeah.
I can't.
if that's a real idea, you gotta. It has to come
Can't.
complete with it.
That was
I
good.
can't deal with you guys.
Okay, that's enough.
Oh, I totally forgot one. So, and I brought this up before in the past, but the end of part 4, you saw what happened. Jamie gets in the house. She grabs a pair of scissors. She starts attacking her stepmom. Now, the concept there was that when she grabbed Michael's hand after he was laying down in the wherever he got knocked down from the truck, was that he passed something along to her. Now, we hadn't gotten to part 6 and the whole Cult of Thorn and everything like that yet. But whatever it was passing to Jamie was it's enough that it was making her like Michael. Now, Danielle Harris has said she'd love to take a trip down memory lane again.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why, if you're gonna explore all options, we don't say, hey, and don't make her a Michael Myers, but create her own. I don't know, her own boogeyman, boogie woman, whatever.
Kind of like her own identity, like her own psycho identity.
Yeah, that's an option.
I could see that.
So
I actually like that.
Halloween 4 was 10 years after the original Halloween. So if 2018 was Halloween 40, it would have been 30. Jamie was what, like 8, 10?
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah.
So we're talking 30 years later in 2018. She'd be in about her 40s right now, which I mean isn't at all a hard thing to do. I do like that concept. I would like, something that we just pick up where we do something kind of similar to Michael. Like that night, instead of like them putting her in the hospital and she's a mute and a big cookie woman.
God damn it.
And the terrible mask from 5 that she goes to an institution like Michael did. And eventually she gets out and she's released and we think that she's okay. But then we find out that she's not, that it starts slowly seeping back and coming in. Maybe it's, Michael Myers is like kind of like with Scream, like how, it became a thing in the town and every year kids would like hang Ghostface shit up after blah, blah, blah. And then they were tearing it down. And she starts seeing that shit and it gives her flashbacks. It gives her PTSD. Cause like I said, one night fucks up your entire life in this franchise all the time. And she starts doing things or acting out and doesn't realize she's doing it because she wasn't really in control of herself when she started stabbing her stepmother, or her
Mhm.
adoptive mother. I don't think. Well, I guess that's
See
I don't know.
that's a scenario where A24 would be good with, because I'm thinking like it could work similar to how it did with Pearl, because like she's trying to be. Hold on, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me.
Okay.
She's trying to be normal, right? She's trying to be normal, but like little triggers happen.
Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't want to go to school. Sorry.
She'll have like triggers or something like that. She'll have certain visions and things like that, and like she'll be like outside of her head for a moment, but then you know what she thinks is totally fine is like next minute she snaps out of it and she sees like she done stabbed somebody up, and it's like the way they do that in terms of like that mental anguish and disarray going on, like that could work to this type of story.
However, I would also be cool with it just being as simple as whatever was in Michael was passed to her when Michael died. And we pretty much do and create a new horror icon in Danielle Harris, who I don't know if you guys know this, I absolutely fucking love, is the only celebrity I've ever met that I was not able to speak words to, which my wife still gives me shit about. And we could do exactly, I mean, listen, the idea of Halloween, literally all Michael Myers did was go into a hardware store and grab a mask and put it on, and it became iconic.
Mhm.
We don't need that mask. She can go into a Halloween store or whatever and grab whatever the fuck she wants off the wall and put that on. And if they do the story right and they do it justice, we can create a new flasher. I hope. She wasn't Rob Zombie's films. A new slasher icon with Jamie Lloyd, played by Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
New mask, new look, new everything. And we don't have a lot of female slashers, especially in main franchise. Like we redid Pinhead as a female last year. Or 2 years ago. Was that 2 years ago? Was that last year?
Just last year.
It was
Last year. So we've done that. We've seen that we can do that. I know. Again, the Cult of the Thorn crowd, the extreme MAGAs are not going to be happy about that. They don't like when you take males and recast them as females because they get really upset that men, have only been dominating the movie industry for the entirety of the movie industry, and it really pisses them off. And they don't follow comic books to understand that shit happens. And anyway, the point is, like, you can do that. You can make her own thing. You can let her be an icon. Let her do her thing. Let whatever Michael had in him be passed on to her and have it affect her. And I'm good with that. Or I'm good with, like you said, the A24 route of PTSD and dealing with trauma and eventually giving into and becoming what you were afraid of.
Yeah.
What do we want to see? Not storyline wise, just elements from a Halloween. Like, do we want to see past character? I know Katie said she needs more Paul Rudd.
Fuck yeah.
Do we want to see the return, even if it is a different character in like cameo spots? Do we want to see past people from the franchise show up and make cameo spots? Do we want to see like what we got with 2018 with the homages to other movies and kills and things like that, and little Easter eggs here or there? Like, what do we want to see in a franchise, movies or TV series going forward? What elements do we want to keep from the Halloween franchise?
I mean, cameos for sure. Like, that's always fun to see. I mean, because like even Scream did it, like, and has been doing it, which hopefully Matthew Lillard's next. Fingers crossed. Maybe. But fuck off. We talked about it. This is not the show. Regardless, past characters coming back, even as a brief little cameo, would be fun. Even just like going like crazy on the kills. would be interesting to see. Like
Hmm.
maybe little less on the plot, but just like they go complete 180 and just focus mainly on the kills instead. Would be an interesting take, and that would probably appease some people and then piss other people off, like most things do. But I think those two things would be interesting.
I'm gonna say not simplicity, but just like little things like the film style. Like this is what I mean. You know, that first shot in the original, that long take where it goes from the front of the house all the way through the side into the house all the way up, that long one take. Like the 2018 did that beautifully. Those one long takes, but like the wide shot, like when Loomis is talking to Sheriff Brackett, Michael's sitting in his car right there off to the side. But if you're not paying attention to the whole shot, you miss it. He's
Right.
sitting there and drives right past him. Like little things like that. Like that film style is just like it's forgotten nowadays.
Mhm.
But little things like that, I gotta see shit like that again.
Okay. I like what Rick is saying too. Like if they go back to the way that John Carpenter did it in the original and kind of give you that element of suspense, kind of like the movie Strangers, like that type of suspense and like how they scared you in that movie. Because they really went with the gore. And I don't have any problem with the gore, but if they just go back to kind of that element, I wouldn't mind. But I also wouldn't mind if they had cameos of them watching other horror movies too. Like if they just go by and there's like a bunch of like people watching like Camp Crystal Lake just to say, oh, A24 has that, if they just have like little small details like that'd be cool too.
I had an idea. I'm curious what you guys think. It just kind of popped into my head as you guys were talking. How would we feel about a found footage Halloween?
Oh, I don't
Yes.
mind.
Sign me
mind.
the fuck up now. I love found footage
I don't
stuff.
Mm.
That
We
could be
could
so
go
cool.
kind of the route of maybe like a Paranormal Activity or something like that, where
Oh yeah.
they bulldoze the
Yes,
Myers
yes.
house, and in the foundation, we find out that Michael documented all of his kills.
Oh my God,
He
that's
won't
so
speak or anything like that, but somebody finds the tapes and they start watching through the tapes, and we get to relive through the eyes of Michael Myers all of the kills through the franchise. This person gets obsessed with it. We find out that wherever in the franchise we want to leave off at, that Michael isn't really dead, which is where he kind of comes back at the end. This guy kind of is documenting his whole journey of watching this in hopes to turn it and sell it to like Netflix or so what we call slash flicks or whatever the fuck you got to do.
Yes.
Sell it to a streaming service. Like, I found this shit. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to document my journey. I'm going to sell it as a documentary on Michael Myers. I have all this footage. And in the end, Michael shows up and comes for him and his collection. And he is now then added to the collection of films that Michael
Yes.
had.
Oh my
Yes.
God. That's such a good
So
idea.
the concept of resurrection, but done better.
Yes and no, because I also still think that Resurrection was a great concept, and we could do a reality TV show where Michael Myers just kind of shows up. And I think it would be fun as shit, especially now with today and the way today is. The problem is that just like Resurrection, 10 years from now, technology is going to be so far advanced that none of it's going to hold up anymore and no one's going to give a shit.
True.
But we were really on the brink of the technology that we needed to make that movie more interesting and more fun. And it was concept wise ahead of its time.
Yes, completely.
I
But
do
if
like
you think
that.
about Michael Myers through
I do like that.
obviously like the first kill being his sister, because like we kind of saw that
Mhm.
through his eyes, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that is way the fuck back when in the 50s.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
in the late 70s. And as we're watching these, we can see the the technology that Michael used to film his kills and the clarity and everything get better and better and better. Or if we don't do the stupid, they found this, somebody obsessed with Michael Myers steals all of the evidence, and in the evidence there are cell phones with things about Michael and his kills and him coming for people, things like that. Like we could find a way to get into there where like people were getting attacked by Michael and it was documented unknowingly by Michael, that they could get into and dig into and find things out about Michael and all of that and stuff like that through, again, trying to create a documentary. Like we teased it with the podcasting, which we're doing one right now a little bit in 2018's Halloween. So that is also an interesting possibility that we go, and A24 might do that really well.
Yep.
They could. I mean, we know Michael knows how to work a tripod, so yeah.
He does.
Yeah, it's true.
He does indeed.
Which we
That's all I
learned
want now.
in Resurrection.
That's all I need now is a found.
Look at those
like
angles.
found footage things are so good, and the fact that could be a possibility is very interesting. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen Hell House LLC.
Yes, I've
No,
seen
I don't think
two
so.
of them, I think.
Yeah,
Not the newest one.
I haven't seen the newest one. I haven't seen the fourth one, but no, like how they shot the first one would be like, that's when you said found footage. That's immediately what I thought of for this. It's like found footage, but like having like, it's like interviews, but not interviews. Do you like?
So Hell House LLC is essentially
Explain
these
it better,
people are going to a known haunted hotel to set up a haunted house, and they're documenting their journey of setting up and doing this haunted house, and then through like opening night, as they're kind of documenting their journey of setting this up and everything, and blah 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 blah, all this crazy shit's happening that is being documented, including murders on opening night in parts of the house where they were having problems when they were setting up, but they like had too much money into it and they couldn't back out, blah 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 blah. So yeah, like something like that where somebody decides like to go into the Myers house and start documenting shit and looking at shit. And again, much like Resurrection, we find out that Michael's still fucking there, and these kids are like, we're gonna document ourselves staying in the house and blah 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 and spending da 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 da. Maybe they turn it into a haunted house. They try to, and Michael's there, and he actually starts murdering people. Found footage, like that would be cool too.
How fucking good would that be?
Imagine if one of the footages is like him making eggs. Like,
He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He eats animals.
Oh, that's
So it'd be like a rat in the pan, in the
God.
leg.
Not even a pan. Like he just gnaws
like
on these
him-
motherfuckers.
like him
apparently
shower?
That's
I was gonna say Michael likes his food like I like my sex, raw.
God damn
oh.
Hey, the name of the show is Smacking It Raw, Katie.
Not
There's a
this
reason
show.
for it. Not this show, but my show, and I'm talking about me.
and the
No,
name of this
this is-
show is Getting Offed. So
I mean,
the context within is.
I also decided that The Rack was going to be the GM of a show called No Protection.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Under the
also the
Smacking It Raw
fact
banner.
that I was not a GM of a show, kind of disrespectful.
We can
I
have
mean,
Michael Myers.
As you
watch-
have said multiple times, you are not officially
That doesn't
part
matter.
of the show. So if you're not,
We're talking
under
after.
contract-
No. We're talking after the fact.
Some,
This is
uh,
not
some-
the time and place.
some
When we end
licensing
this
issues.
part, we'll go.
Is there anything? And I've got your advocate here, so this is going to be great. You've got your
This-
wise man and your advocate here. This will be
I'm
fun.
fucking screwed.
Got some
Is
negotiating.
there
to
anything
do.
from the Halloween franchise we don't want to see brought back?
Oh, don't want to see? Okay. I just want to add on to this found footage stuff.
Okay,
Like
go
imagine
ahead.
him watching Chucky and he's like scared,
Dude, Justin's taking it like they took the meme of Lori looking out the window and Michael's just outside doing a bunch of like stupid shit. That's what Justin's doing. and I love it.
Justin wants to turn Halloween into scary movie.
I mean,
Hold
not
Hold on,
scary
hold on.
movie, but kind of like enjoyable in any form. You know what I'm saying? Like I just
Comedic.
because Halloween is such a huge pop culture horror property that it's. I mean, like when you think about it, right? Like you think about all the horror movies, right? Iconically, it's supposed to be Dracula, all the Universal monsters, Frankenstein, right? Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's supposed to be those, but it's not. It's Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, Chucky, right? And Michael Myers is at the helm. He's the lead. So I just
Yes
want.
and no.
You don't think so?
Well,
I think so. A
I
little
think we've had this debate, but
bit.
honestly, the love of Michael Myers and the respect Michael Myers is receiving in 2023 is not the love and respect that Michael Myers has received from most of the horror community during the boom of slashers.
True.
Freddy
true.
and
True, I see
Jason
that.
were all. Michael Myers was Ric Flair, and Freddy and Jason were Hulk Hogan.
Damn, that's too close.
They probably weren't as good, but they were more popular and mainstream, and more people knew who they
Okay,
were and
okay.
liked them at the time.
That's crazy.
And they're both kind of a little racist.
A little.
No clown cops. No shitty masks. No
Yes.
token black actor / musician. No Busta Rhymes. No LL Cool J. No Trey Songs. None of
Oh
that shit.
my! Oh,
I mean, really, hold on.
No.
Listen,
no.
wait, hear me out. Hear me out.
Said no.
LL Cool J was the first black man to survive 2 horror movies, let alone
I
one.
get it.
I feel like he deserves at least a small, even if it's not like LL Cool J as the character, bringing him back as a full actor. Like, can we at least like have somebody go to an LL Cool J concert or like be watching fucking what was that
Music
show that he
video?
had? No, the show that he had, the
think about my house.
lip sync battle.
In house.
Oh,
Like
lip
have
sync
somebody watching
battle.
lip sync battle with him in the background hosting. Like, can we have just a little homage to the first black man to survive a horror movie,
Okay.
let alone 2?
I'll accept that. I will accept
allow
that.
it.
That's fair. That's fair. No Rob Zombie involvement whatsoever.
Fair.
I think that's it. Yeah.
He had a list prepared.
If we're
I mean,
gonna
he's
do
right,
Michael
though.
Myers, if we're gonna do Michael Myers, then he needs to be the focus. I do not want another story about some other kid who eats up 45 minutes of a movie before Michael shows up. None of that bullshit. None of the Corey Cunningham bullshit in future movies. None of that. If it's gonna be Michael Myers, make it Michael Myers, not something else. Also, the Man in Black. I can do without the Man in Black.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
do without the Doctor from 5 and 6. We didn't need him. He wasn't necessary.
No more doctors that aren't named Loomis.
Just Loomis only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No ghosts of the dead mother, like you said, no Rob Zombie at all, but like no ghost of the dead mother on a white horse.
None of that shit. None of
I
it.
do not want to hear the term Angel Myers, period,
Oh, gosh.
Or Boo.
or boo.
Fucking that's some redneck white trash bullshit. It really is.
That's
I mean, your child Boo. The fuck?
The fuck?
Hey, boo, pass me that biscuit.
Jesus.
Case in point.
Good
Yeah,
job,
I
guys.
don't want to see none of that.
Also,
The only-
I
the only
don't know how you
thing-
feel- Oh, go ahead.
The only thing that I would accept seeing that happened in a Rob Zombie Halloween film is scene in the beginning of 2 where he took that piece of glass, and he literally hacked this motherfucker's head off.
Oh,
I would accept that anywhere because it was dope.
No new kids.
Yes.
Laurie
Yeah.
Strode does not need another fucking child.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
already got 3 that don't know about each other. I don't need a 4th.
I'll do you one
That's
better.
true.
I'll do you one better. We don't need Laurie Strode anymore.
Oh,
At least not Jamie Curtis as Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to do it and we're going to start fresh and all of that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could go and cast new people kind of like they did with Evil Dead 2013, where it was homages. However, it's going to be really hard to do that and not have the man in the mask be Michael Myers. So, and then call it a Halloween. But, yeah, no, we've got a John, we've got a Jamie, we've got a Karen. We don't need another we don't need a Kyle. Please. We're good.
No Kyles.
No Kyle Strodes. I
don't
more
really care
tattoos.
about the I don't really care about the like sometimes when they go off and they have like these little like scenes with the people in the town.
There we go.
There you go.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like those bar scenes with like the people in the town all like worried, oh, what's happening? It's like you know what the fuck's happening. It's like it happens every year. You know?
It's like, you know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Anything else we don't want to see?
I don't know, I think Rick pretty got it on the point.
I mean, I prepared for that because if I wasn't so accepting of a particular concept, I would have said no cult. But I've already compromised. So
One of us.
One of us.
No.
Join us.
That's not how we're getting down.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Outside. Okay, so and all. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. You know why, Reek?
What?
Because we had a discussion prior to Halloween Ends, where I said, and I stand by, that the most brutal, the most violent, the most badass version of Michael Myers was Halloween 6 until Halloween Kills, right?
Yes.
However, in continuity, the same brutal, badass Michael Myers of Halloween Kills got his ass beat by Corey Cunningham. So to this day, the most brutal, the most badass, the most violent version of Michael Myers is the Michael Myers that lived at the end of Curse of Michael Myers and didn't get his ass whooped by Corey Cunningham.
That's this Michael.
But that's not
This
the
Michael right here.
same.
Which means I will put it is the same man. It is the same Michael. It is the same franchise.
It
It is the
off.
same timeline. No, it didn't branch off. What do you mean it branched off? The man at the end, the Michael at the end of Halloween Kills is the same Michael in Halloween Ends. That is the end of that trilogy. That is one solid story. That is the same person. So the man that got his ass whooped by Corey Cunningham can no longer be the badass that I held to the standard of Curse. That was the only movie that he was that badass. No longer, because that same guy went and got his ass beat a movie later. My Michael did not.
Well,
my Michael
Not
walked
my
the
Michael.
fuck away.
Your Michael was a
Michael.
fucking zombie, so that's just. I mean,
Not Rob Zombie.
No,
zombie
he was not a zombie. Jason is a zombie. Jason returns from the dead, and that's what requires to be a zombie. Michael has never died until Halloween Ends, which
Yeah.
So we know.
Unless.
I will put Curse of Michael Myers up against any horror icon in a one-on-one fight, and he is walking out winning. That is the final form Michael Myers, the supreme ultimate in a fight Michael Myers that I want on my team. If I was drafting a horror icon dream team and I could only pick one Michael, that's the Michael I'm picking to defend me, to guard me, to whatever. And I got the mark on my wrist to keep me safe. I know about runes and shit. I'll be all right. So just let him hang around and do his thing.
And that, you know what? I lied. He's not a zombie. He's Voldemort. That
Oh my god, everything is Harry Potter. Oh my god.
With unlimited fucking Horcruxes.
Everything is Harry Potter.
So
I said
does
what I
that make Steven the boy who lived?
It might be. It might be. You never fucking know.
Everything is Harry Potter.
Because I mean, outside of the idea that Voldemort didn't have sex with Lily, a piece of Voldemort lives inside Harry, and a piece of Michael lives inside Steven.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I'll let him have that one.
I mean, Laurie Strode was the bravest, so doesn't that make her, part of the Gryffindor house?
She had the sword of Gryffindor.
I mean, maybe.
No, well, it all depends because in one scenario, Laurie Strode is Sirius Black. So,
Not Dr. Loomis? You wouldn't think Dr. Loomis was
Dr. Loomis is Dumbledore.
okay?
Dr.
Okay,
Loomis
okay.
is Dumbledore. However,
Okay.
hold on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Laurie Strode. Like I said, in one scenario specifically, she is Sirius Black because she dies in Resurrection.
Right.
Oh my god.
So that would be
I love this.
in that scenario, Michael didn't kill Dr. Loomis. In no scenario has Michael actually killed Dr. Loomis.
Okay.
So Loomis can't be serious.
Well, there was a scenario technically. We don't talk about it, but it was portrayed on screen.
So
Oh, yeah,
then
what
that
was
would
that?
make the cult like the Death Eaters then,
in the Bad H2.
Oh my god, Justin, you're right.
right? Or
Listen, Reek.
You're right, Justin.
I said we don't talk about it. But
No, hold on. If we're discussing Harry Potter in the mainstream timelines, Rob Zombie is Twilight. Like that doesn't count. That's different. It's not. It's not
Crazy. What a turn of events this has turned into.
Keep that shit over there.
It's
That's what
redneck Twilight.
we should have just done that the whole episode. Figure out who is who. Like that could have been the whole episode.
I mean, we got like 12 minutes.
All right, let's keep going. Let's turn this up.
Oh, I can never watch the Rob Zombie version the same now.
I literally just.
I can never watch it. Period, because shit was ass.
I mean,
The first one wasn't terrible.
The first one was not bad. The second one's just too awful. It really makes the first one suck.
I had hope for the first one, and like it made me think that, you know what, I could be okay with some reimagining, because that was the terminology is. But then we veered off so left in part 2 that it just you lost me.
I fucked that up actually, and I apologize. If Michael Myers is Voldemort, that makes Laurie Strode Lily, and that makes Jamie Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But then Jamie died.
I mean, it doesn't have to play out exactly like Harry Potter did,
I mean, Harry Potter also technically died.
because also there was a link between Jamie and Michael.
Yeah.
It just wasn't partial to him.
Harry had to die to get the win. Jamie just died and died in multiple different ways and multiple different cuts.
Disrespectful.
So does that make Corey Draco Malfoy?
Corey's not in this. We don't know.
Oh
No.
No, Corey's not in this series. He got left off.
okay.
Listen, we don't stop shitting on Corey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we had a mixed bag about the movie, but like, listen, in the grand scheme
I told
of
you,
things,
if it was not a Halloween movie, I would have enjoyed it. Which again is the same argument that you get from a lot of people for Halloween. If it didn't say Halloween and they weren't expecting a Michael Myers movie, they probably would have liked Halloween 3 a lot better. Season of the Witch. If it was just Season of the Witch, stood on its own, they would have liked it better. If Michael Myers was not in this movie, I probably would have really enjoyed this movie, because I do find myself watching it and enjoying the arc of Corey until I remember that what this movie is supposed to fucking be and how it's going to end, and you bring Michael in, and once you bring Michael in, you make him look like a bitch, you've ruined a Halloween movie for me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe a question. Would that... So, would Corey be Neville then?
Oh, Neville.
Because Neville could have also been the boy who lived. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, Neville could have been Harry Potter.
Yeah. He takes the mask, like he takes the sword out of the hat.
Oh, I don't.
I mean,
I don't.
who else?
Is Laurie Strode's kids Hermione and Ron?
No, but
no.
But however, the Strode parents are definitely
The Dursleys.
The Dursleys.
Man, fuck them.
Yeah, I hate them.
Are we talking about part 6 Strode parents?
Yes.
I'm half on that because, like, obviously he's very clearly Uncle Vernon, but Petunia was a bitch too, and the mom wasn't. Mom was cool.
Petunia came around at the end though, so we could just take that part.
For
the mom
5 minutes out of the entire franchise, she had.
There are things that were
conscious.
The mom
cut out.
Actually, Uncle Vernon wasn't. He was bad, but the aunt, his sister, remember? Because she's the one that calls
Aunt Marge.
Yes. Oh, I hate that hoe. Oh my gosh, when she said the bitch line, I'm like, oh my god, Lord Voldemort. I just wanted to say the word, for him to show up.
Now, I will say that in part 6, the Strode mother, while not necessarily a bitch, was complicit in everything that happened because she allowed her husband to do that shit. She just sat there while he slapped her daughter right across the face and didn't do nothing about it.
I mean, the vibes I was getting, even the first time I watched it, was that that's probably a potentially domestic abuse situation across the board.
That's 100%.
Oh, yeah, 100% for sure.
So I'm sure, if nothing else, she was just scared to act.
And if we're talking part 6, then instead of Corey being Neville, it would have made the Strode, the little boy, Neville.
Okay.
Oh, Steven.
No, not Steven.
Danny.
Carousel.
I forgot all
Danny,
about
yes.
it. Yeah.
Danny. That's what.
And Danny's still around and still alive and heard things too, so he could join in the. He could
Danny's
be the Castiel.
joining the Winchesters.
Yeah, he could be the Castiel to the Winchesters.
Danny needs his own arc.
I forgot about.
So maybe A24 should just do Halloween, but Harry Potter style.
They just remake
they
Harry
go
Potter,
to
Halloween.
They go to Hogwarts, but it's like a Halloween village or whatever, and then they get training how to be all,
No, Hogwarts is the asylum.
Yep. Oh. Yep. Azkaban is the Myers house.
What's the name of the hat that chooses the houses?
The sorting hat.
Dude, that's the mask. You know what I'm saying? It talks. I'm Travis, yeah. Like
that's outrageous. God, that's so funny.
That's crazy.
That's my favorite thing that's ever happened.
Damn.
I mean, I think that's how we end it.
Listen, I was also going to say, because Reek was like, yeah, but Jamie died. Like, we can't really look at it in the light of, because, I mean, if we look at it that way, all of Harry's friends get killed by Voldemort, and that doesn't happen in Harry Potter. Like, everyone dies. So, our Harry dying also, it's Harry Potter, and it's a reimagining. You know what I'm saying?
It's Harry Potter, but Voldemort's version.
Annie and Linda don't live. Harry and Ron to Laurie. If Laurie was Harry, Annie and Linda were were Hermione and Ron, and they didn't make it.
Right. Yeah, but we wouldn't have cared because we would just be getting introduced to them.
Could you
It's because they
imagine
would've died in
Voldemort
the
showed
first
up in
movie.
the first movie and just murdered Ron and Hermione,
That would be there.
and that
You know,
started Harry's whole arc of revenge?
Dude.
damn,
I'd allow it.
wild.
Yeah. Because if I'm being totally honest, I didn't really like Hermione until like part 3, and
Okay.
like Ron to me served no purpose until like 4.
Ever.
So this is like,
Until 7.
oh, that too. But I mean, like,
Basically.
yeah. So it's like it's more so about the length of time that you got to
Yeah.
take them all in as characters. If
Right.
you just off them first go around, then it's like, oh well, hi bye, grand opening, grand closing.
There you go.
But the Weasley
And with
family.
that,
Oh, okay. To talk. Okay.
I gotta take a piss, Jess. We gotta close this out.
Okay.
And
Let's
with
go.
that,
Yeah. Let's go.
I want to thank everyone for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any ideas about booking Halloween, what you want to see, if you liked any of our ideas, or you have any ideas of your own, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Getting Offed, or in the comments of the YouTube video, or in the comments of the Twitch video, or in the comments of the Pornhub version of this. Wherever you want, let us know. I'll be there. I'll read them. I'll check them out. I'll interact with you. I'm sure they will as well. They are tagged in the post. Come join us. Talk to us. Let us know what you think. Unless you think we're stupid, then just keep that to your fucking self. Nobody needs to hear that shit.
Damn.
Katie, please plug yourself.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at KatieRaskin13, LinkedIn about Take All Things Sheila Showcase, Twitch.tv/Sheila Showcase, and YouTube.com/Sheila Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Patreon.com/Sheila Showcase. You can check out the Law and Order SVU episode that Rick was on, and TC and Vince. Matt and I will figure something out a day, I promise. Juss, I have a plan for you eventually to get on there too. Yeah, things are happening, and I'm always here. So
That is true. Justin, please plug yourself.
You can find me in the Get Your Podcast on Twitter, Get Your Podcast on Instagram. You can find me there. You can also find me on Marks and Mikes on Thursdays, 9 p.m. I also had dropped an episode, This Your Boy Just, where me and Jaylan, who makes all the Getting Off theme music and a bunch of all the calf musics and stuff like that. We talked about hip hop and the music that we were both into. But yeah, guys, this was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, the Get Yo Podcast crew is on a hiatus from just doing Get Yo Podcast, not from making podcasts or being on podcasts or podcasting in general. They just said, we're not going to do that show. Fuck you guys. So
that's
it'll
me.
be back in about a month.
That's me on a hiatus.
Reek,
Man.
go ahead.
You can find me at ReekHaver24 on Instagram and on Twitter. Young Kings Wrestling with me and my guy TC at YK Wrestling on all platforms, plus at YKWrestling.com for all your merch. And I actually am bringing back the Havoc Hour. I have a topic list. I have a revamped concept, and I'm going to try to put a panel together about 3 people. This one's going to be sports. I got some stuff. I'm catching up on all my series and movies and stuff so that I can get that going again. But yeah, you can find all the previous episodes, stuff like that, on all streaming platforms, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts. My Instagram is still up at Havoc Hour _ the Havoc Hour _. And yeah, the precursor for the show.
It is. However, when the Havoc Hour comes back, all your horror will still be here. Everything else you enjoyed, Star Wars and all the fun shit that we did, may still exist over there, but you'll be. I will still let Reek come on, give me all of his ideas, so I have episodes to do because he's fantastic with it, and he'll show up for those. So we'll do that. It'll be a good time. You can join us here at Getting Off, which is on Twitter at Getting Off. Also, you can follow me at Matt Ritter at MATTRIDDER on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, or TikTok, it is at Smacking It Raw. You can follow everything Creation World at It's Creation World, ITSCREATIA World, TikTok, Instagram, and X. I already plugged everything else except for the Facebook, facebook.com/Creation World. You can also watch us live there as well. For the Core 4, Miss Katie Kinsey Bay, Dr. Reek Baker BBC, and your boy Juss. I am the patron saint of podcast and the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been your #1 horror podcast on Pornhub.